Morning to one and all, the dignitaries on the dais, dear students, namaste and vanakkam. I am glad to be part of this ceremony where I see future leaders, future advocates of this country who have gathered here to discuss and deliberate on national and international politics. When the students of the organizing committee invited me, I was delighted to accept the invitation. I have also been told that the students of the All India Political Parties meet are going to discuss a hot topic, a very controversial topic, that is the reservation policy of this country. In my humble opinion, I think the reservation policy needs to be changed, and that's the need of the hour. I am also happy to know that events like this are being organized by various institutions, and the students of VIT Law School have taken this initiative. I applaud them and congratulate them, and I also congratulate VIT for all the future endeavors. The topic which I have been asked to speak on is political awareness among youth. Political awareness, what is it all about? It is about the sensitivity towards the policies of the government. Now, when does political awareness begin in a student, in the youth? It begins right from school, when your civics teacher comes to class and gives you lessons on good governance, what are your responsibilities, what are your fundamental duties, what are your fundamental rights, what is your constitution, how do you change the country, how do you vote for a good government, and things like that. Nowadays, people don't even have the time to read the paper, or they don't want to open the newspaper, they don't want to read our news articles, they don't want to discuss about the the policies of the government. They just sit back and they accept the government, whatever they are doing, let them do, and then they condemn the government. No, don't condemn, be the change what you want to see. That's Mahatma Gandhi, he said that. So how does that happen? See, instead of whiling away your times at movie theaters, cricket matches, WhatsApp messages and all that, I think you should read the manifestos of the election manifestos of each political party, see their ideologies, whether you identify with that, what do you want from the government, and then make that extra effort to go stand on the queue, stand on the line, go and vote, elect your leader, change the system. Because it's only what we give is what we get. See, in fact, the Roman philosopher said that one of the penalties for refusing to participate in politics is that you are governed by inferiors. So you are responsible for the leaders. If you find that somebody is not good there, blame yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So you all have to take a moral responsibility to change the governance at whatever level, state level, district level, taluk level, and the union level. And another thing is, the other day, political awareness. I find that there's a lack of political awareness today. Because the other day when the Honorable Prime Minister made his 72nd day speech at the Red Fort, I was astonished, I was taken back. And then believe me, there were many others also who must have done this. We were doing fact finding, whether it is correct, whether it is wrong, what has he said, is this the truth, is this a myth? Because nowadays reality is taken away. It is now shown as something astonishing, wonderful, and really development is taking place. We are made to believe that this is the government which has brought in and given us everything. Nothing has happened in the past 70 years. It is courtesy this government, the economy is moving. No. Debating upon these topics create awareness among the future leaders of this country. But believe me, I find that this is a dark era of undeclared emergency. And this dark era of undeclared emergency has been cast upon us as a shadow by a 200-member team which is controlling and watching media houses. They take instructions from the PMO's office, from the BJP and RSS headquarters. So these people control media houses. Political awareness. The reason for lack of political awareness is the media houses. I'm sorry to be saying this, but the media has let us down very badly. They have no backbone right now. They have their foremost duty towards the citizens of their country. They should owe allegiance to the country. They should make people aware of what's the government doing and bring out those policies, question the government, ask tough questions and say, are you all right? What are you all doing? The previous government, when the petrol prices hiked, diesel prices hiked, everyone went on the streets, did a dharna. What are you all doing today? The prices have hiked, doubled, but there is no dharna. You all are just accepting what the government is saying. And demonetization, that was an organized loot. What has happened? Nobody questions. There's not a man who questions except for the opposition. And when the media, and if the opposition questions, they all come in support of the government and say, no, the opposition leader is, he's just a pappu and things like that. You all ridicule, you all snigger. And I'm telling you honestly, I used to admire Mr. Modi. I found him a wonderful orator, a great debater. He mesmerizes the audience. He speaks without a paper. He rattles off statistics so beautifully, so nicely, and I find him so knowledgeable. But it is the courtesy, the teleprompter, that's an instrument which he uses to make us all fools. I lost all respect for him after that. I in fact, standing here before you, I get nervous, but this man, he reels off statistics, does he deliver what he does? He makes a lot of promises, but what happens? And who questions this? There is not a single soul in this country to question him, and anybody who speaks up is termed as an urban naxal. They are straight away taken, gone. I want you all young people, you are our leaders, you are our future, you all should question, write articles, come out. In fact, Justice Chandrachud in his judgment just day before yesterday when this matter was listed before them at 4:50, he said dissent is the valve of democracy, and once dissent is not allowed, the pressure cooker is going to burst. So please, in a democratic country, if we are not allowed to speak, then who is going to speak for us? I remember this famous speech after this NDTV raid, infamous NDTV raid. Mr. Fali Nariman was addressing at the Press Club of India. So the Prime Minister of Malaysia, he was the respected dignitary on the dais. So just Mr. Fali Nariman was speaking to them, to the crowd, and then he looked and then he quoted a retired Malaysian judge, and he told them, he said, the Malaysian judge told us that the Malaysian constitution guarantees freedom of speech. And after a pause he said, my dear Prime Minister of Malaysia, the Indian constitution doesn't guarantee freedom after speech. This is what the country has been reduced to. And there was this famous Cobra Post operation called 136. I don't know whether you all know about it, but this was a sting operation. It was conducted on senior officials of various big media houses. And what happened to that sting operation? Does anyone know about it? It's just been brushed under the carpet. Why? Because this sting operation revealed, there were startling revelations that crores of rupees were given to media houses. The media houses were bought. Why? To propagate Hindutva propaganda in their advertisement. And the media stooped so low. I feel really pained. They said they promised to deliver the results and influence the results of 2019. So that is why everyone says, we know who's coming back to power, the BJP. But can media houses sell their conscience like this? They are responsible for this lack of awareness among students. And there are some media houses who stand up, but they are hounded. So ultimately everyone has a life, so they fear. They don't want to be controlled by the great man who's controlling our country. In fact, the other day he said social media has now become a platform. Gali gali mohalle ke ladaiyan aate hain. But the moment you question on GST, you question on farmer suicides, you question on the rising prices, you question on the Rafale deal, everything, what happens? You are silenced, you are hounded. And you have leaders in JNU, Kanaya and the other leaders, they are all silenced. Hardik Pandya, what happens to them? They are taken, finished. So that, and it's not a single student who has to rise. It should be a collective union. It's only when all of you get together, then there is power in voting for your government, which is the best government. Another thing which saddened me was the media. I mean, they defamed and they showed the judiciary in very poor light. I was very unhappy with that, because when the judge's press conference was held on Jan 12th, it was the media who made the most out of it for just monetary gains and maligning the judiciary, defaming the judiciary. Why did they have to bring the judiciary down to such a low level? It's the highest temple of justice. It is the highest court of the country. That is where judgments are delivered. That is where the judiciary comes to power when the governments fail, when the executive fails, when the legislature fails. It is the independence of the judiciary, and that's never compromised. But the media highlighted it and put it in such a way that it triggered a debate to say that, look, because of the independence of judiciary, this infighting is happening. Now we should step in and control the judiciary. No, the executive is different, the judiciary is different. We don't want to succumb to political aspirations or affiliations or under political pressures. Independence of judiciary is the hallmark of democracy. So I want to end now. I expect all the students to study well, be good statesmen, future advocates, future engineers. And engineers, please don't take bribes and and see that the bridges are broken, and do justice, be honest. Integrity is a very great component. And yes, inequality is there everywhere, but it's ultimately, without compromise on your integrity and honesty, you can still make it. I also wish the Secretariat members and the organizing committee members of the summit good luck. It is amazing to see that these young kids have taken the task of producing and crafting future statesmen and stateswomen. And I also take this opportunity to thank Rudraksh Gupta. It's because of him I have left Supreme